Will Dick Grayson be able to save the life of his half-sister Melinda from the clutches of Blockbuster without risking his own secret identity? Well, let's hop into the pages of Nightwing number 95 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, Melinda had been found out by Roland Desmond as the one who was actively leaking information to Nightwing and the rest of the hero community about his operations. Thankfully, her assistant and implied lover Aubrey had actually been following her to this secret gangland meet, meaning it doesn't take Oracle long to ping her cell phone and know exactly where to send Nightwing to make the save. In fact, there's a second there where you think that Nightwing and Blockbuster are going to finally fight it out in the streets, only for Aubrey to hit Blockbuster with her car. Obviously, Roland Desmond is getting really desperate right about now. He feels the walls closing in around him, and anyone who knows anything that could possibly hasten his own downfall is getting taken out. Like, for example, former police commissioner McClane. We think that he's getting interrogated about that missing file with all of Blockbuster's dirty dealings on it, when in reality he's just being pumped for information to see that if he would be willing to turn state's evidence on Blockbuster, and when it seems he would, he ends up getting executed by other dirty cops. This, of course, sends a very dire message to Maggie Sawyer, the brand new commissioner of police in Bloodhaven, and that is even with McClane taken out of power, that still doesn't mean the entire department isn't rotten from the ground up. Meaning that perhaps the only way to restore law and order in the streets of Bloodhaven is to once again rely on the superhero community, including Nightwing. Dick has come to have a meeting with Maggie, and he's not alone. He's brought Melinda, but also Batwoman Kate Kane, who obviously has a long and storied history with Maggie. In fact, things get pretty awkward between the two, and Dick even has to admit, wait, is there some history here I didn't know about? I feel like there's a lot going on here I don't know about. Oh, you were almost married, huh? I should also probably take this moment too to talk about the fact that Twitter stans really had a problem with this subplot in the story, and I don't really understand why. For some reason, they thought Tom was making fun of the fact that Batwoman and Maggie didn't get married in the New 52 era, even though literally the whole point of these exchanges in this book is Tom Taylor saying that, you know what, he actually agrees and they totally should have been married and that DC totally dropped the ball. Also, Taylor wasn't writing their book at the time. It's not like he's the one who broke them up or anything, but again, I digress. With the help of Melinda Zuko and the Blockbuster file, Dick puts together an entire coalition of some of his closest superhero friends to wipe out Blockbuster's biggest money-making operations in one night. The idea being that if the heroes catch Blockbuster and his goons doing evil stuff, then it will be much easier for Maggie Sawyer to swoop on in and arrest them all. Now you might be asking yourself, what kind of illegal operations does Roland Desmond have his fingers in? Well, all sorts. You got the human trafficking, the drug running, the gun running, and even some stolen stones for flavor, which is actually being overseen by Old Man Maroney himself. I guess he's just a big old fan of the movie Snatch and wanted to be in the illegal diamonds business, and I mean, who can blame him, right? Diamonds are practically as good as cash, and they're not nearly as heavy, meaning you can carry more around with you. Obviously, the united forces of the Teen Titans and the Bat family make short work of all of Blockbuster's gangland activities, essentially breaking the back of his entire empire in a single night, which, as you might have guessed, Roland does not take well. He knows that Nightwing is at the center of all of this, and as such, he opts to grab a rocket launcher and just go down to Haven and start shooting. I mean, it's not the most subtle plan under the sun, but it's certainly effective. The fires end up attracting Nightwing and a few of the others. Roland even takes a couple of those homeless children hostage, just in case he wasn't already the worst guy in Bloodhaven ever. Nightwing swoops on in to try and save them, and the two finally end up having their big fated battle. It's during the scuffle, though, something kind of unforeseen happened. Dick falls to the ground and his mask ends up getting knocked off his face, meaning that Roland sees that he didn't have two enemies this whole time in Nightwing and Dick Grayson, he only had one. What will this mean for the future? Well, I guess we're gonna have to pick up the next issue and find out, won't we? And so that was Nightwing issue number 95, everybody. A big old ramp up, which feels like it's leading to the big conclusion of this Nightwing v Blockbuster arc arc that they've been running with since this series began. I feel like endings like this used to be way more common in superhero books where the villain would end up learning the hero's secret identity, but it's been so long since I've seen that pulled off, it actually feels kind of fresh and exciting here. You also gotta wonder what this means for a character like Blockbuster, who has his back against the wall, who basically has nothing left to lose. Is he going to try and go after those closest to Nightwing, or is he just gonna reveal his identity to the world? It's nice to see Tom Taylor picking up on some story threads for Maggie Sawyer and Batwoman. Lord knows if Maggie is going to be sticking around in this book for the foreseeable future. It would be nice to see her get some storylines. You also gotta love the running theme in this series that Nightwing is so beloved by the rest of the superhero community that everyone is willing to drop what they're doing multiple times to help them deal with their local crime tyrant. Geez, if they were able to direct themselves to deal with just one problem at a time back in Gotham, they probably would have cleaned that city up a long time ago, but I guess it's just one of the many ways in which Nightwing is different than his mentor Batman. He's not afraid to ask for help, and everyone else isn't afraid to offer help. Overall, I'd give this one another very solid 8 out of 10. When it's good, it's really damn good, and it's really damn good right now.
Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.